We have a special guest with us, the Dynamiter blogger, Josh Lockhart. We're here for Bloggers Blurb.
Well, thanks for having me.
A bit of an explosion, pardon the pun, here in that second period. The
Yeah.
Dynamiters score 5 goals in that period, or excuse me, 4 goals in that period. The Fernie, 4 or 5? 4 goals. And the Riders respond with 1. Your thoughts, first of all, on that second period?
Oh. What, I think that was like 3 goals in like 2 minutes, wasn't it? About that for
From
Kimberley?
11:51 to 13 minutes, which is basically 1 minute 9 seconds, 3 goals.
Yeah. Okay. So that will probably be the definition of this game for the Dynamiters.
And all 3 of those goals scored 4 on 4.
Yeah. It was a lot of open ice, and the Dynamiters definitely capitalized on that. And a lot of their goals, there was like the weird bounce for Bertoya to get the scoring going in the third period. But it was a lot of like those odd man player in, like the Lassiter goal, right? Like for me, it was that beautiful. And then the 2-on-0, like they just, were buzzing.
So there was a goal waved off. Did you find out why that was waved off?
For the, which one? The one over there? So I'm getting mixed reviews because I didn't talk to the goal judge from that end. But it sounds like he lost, from my perspective, because I was standing right above the net, it sounds like he lost sight of the puck, but then there's also maybe the net was off.
Well, the net wasn't off the moorings. We can see that.
So I think he lost sight of the puck because it did look like Henderson did have it, but like if you think of where the ref was to see the puck, it looked like Henderson had it covered, but he didn't. And then the Dynamiters.
So he lost sight of the puck, and he does what a referee's supposed to do: blow the whistle. But the whistle didn't blow until after the puck was in the net, and that's what I couldn't understand.
Right.
He waved it off right away.
He did. He was very quick to wave that off.
And the question is, was there somebody that was bumping the goaltender inadvertently? Because it wasn't a goaltender interference penalty, but he never went to the scores bench to tell us why that was waved off. But it makes sense that if he lost control of the puck, he should blow the whistle, and then the Dynamiters knock it in. And it was the time when he was intending to blow the whistle, even though it might have happened after, he was intending to blow the whistle for stoppage and play. And that's the rule. It's when he's thinking of putting it in his mouth to blow the whistle, that's when the play stops.
Which is what it looked like from, again, my vantage point, looked like that's what happened. So, needless to say, we still scored 4 goals that period, which is, a little mind-boggling, but they deserved it.
That the Dynamiters scored a couple of goals on the 4-on-4. They called a time. Fernie called a timeout, kind of get reorganized. It wasn't 15 seconds after the timeout that Dynamiters scored that third goal in that 1 minute 9 seconds.
Yes, yeah.
So anyway,
it's been great. Okay, so
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
We've got some trivia questions for our viewers and our listeners.
Okay.
And I'm just going to see how
well I do.
On the quiz.
Okay, sorry, I'm just typing it in on the computer. Yes, go for it.
How many times have the Dynamiters and the Fernie Ghostriders played in the playoffs against each other since the 05-06 season?
05-06. So we're looking at, I would probably say 10 or 11 of those years.
It was actually 9.
9, okay. Because it feels like every year we've played them since I've moved here.
There's been 3 times where they did not meet. Either the Fernie Ghostriders got beat out in the first round, or the Dynamiters got beat out in the first round, or what have you, or they just didn't meet.
Right.
So the second trivia question was, of the 9 times that they've played each other, what is the record?
Okay, see, I only remember Fernie winning once. So I would say maybe we're 7-2
for
Kimberley.
It's close. It's 6-3 for Fernie.
Really? So that means since I've moved here, we've lost because I moved here in 2011 and it was the 2012 playoffs.
Right.
I know we lost against them in round 2 in 2012.
Yep.
I kind of forget the year after that, and then since then we've subsequently beaten them.
From the 13th season on, the Dynamiters have won every series. So the last 3 have been won by Kimberley. The first 6 were won by the Riders.
Okay.
And that's not to say that it's been an easy road, because a lot of the series went 7 games.
Right.
Both ways.
So I was way off on that one.
You just had it reversed.
I was going with what I knew so far, which was the Dynamiters have won three in a row. 3 of the past 4.
All right.
So,
okay, so let's talk
Yes.
about what you want to talk about.
well, I know last time you wanted to talk about playoff predictions.
Yes.
So I decided to just type them all out.
Okay.
So
And
that way,
and it's on your blog?
Yes, it is. Not as popular as it was with the
Regular season?
regular season predictions, because there were a lot of upset Creston fans because I didn't pick them to be number one, and then everyone else is like, "Can you see what?" As you were like, "Can you see what this idiot did? He didn't pick the Cyclone Taylor Cup."
Never said an idiot. Never said that. Just called you wrong. That's all I did.
Okay, the other people assumed I was an idiot, especially since I used the word implosion. But at the same time, the first or the second time when we played Creston and we were down 3-0 and then eventually came back to win that game,
Yep.
that was like, I'm right, but still wrong in the long run. So
Okay, playoff predictions.
playoff predictions. So we did our division, and I said Kimberley would win in 7 games
Against Fernie.
against Fernie.
Okay.
And then I said Creston will sweep the Rockies.
So Creston sweep the Columbia Valley
The
Rockies.
Rockies, yeah.
Okay, so already I'm going to disagree with you, but
I
go
know.
ahead.
I think you said it would be about 5 or 6 games for
I
those
think
twos.
this series, Kimberley Fernie, will be 6 games.
Right. Yeah.
And I believe Kimberley will win in 6.
Yep.
I believe that Creston Valley and Columbia Valley
Yes.
will be at least 5, maybe 6 games
yeah.
with Creston winning.
Right. So that's where and we're going to probably disagree on a lot of these. So let's move over to the other division with Beaver Valley and Grand Forks Border Bruins.
Yep.
Now, I made my predictions primarily on the last power rankings that I did.
Okay.
So I feel that the Beaver Valley Nighthawks will win their series in 5 games. To which then a Grand Forks Border Bruins fan pointed out to me that they actually beat the Beaver Valley Nighthawks
in the
this
regular season.
Yes. Now, I didn't look at when the games were played, but I did wonder if that was when the Border Bruins started off pretty hot at the start of the year, if that's when those games were played. I don't know. But looking at some of the interactions online and the news, the Border Bruins are definitely confident going into Beaver Valley, knowing that they
They're playing a
have
good brand
beat
of
them.
hockey right
Yeah.
now, and like I say, they've played against the Beaver Valley Nighthawks pretty well.
Yeah.
Playoffs are different.
Totally.
And I'm going to agree with you. I think 5 games. I think the Grand Forks will win a game
at home.
But I believe that the Beaver Valley Nighthawks too deep. Both teams are missing players due to suspension.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
But Beaver Valley has more depth in their lineup than Grand Forks, and I believe that when playoffs come around, they get a little bit more serious. I think 5 games is probably the correct
Yes,
prediction.
and it's for me it's about depth, but then it's also about how much you've used your depth during the season.
Yeah.
And the Nighthawks just roll their lines.
Yes.
So all their lines they've built confidence over the years, and they didn't rely on a top line.
And Grand Forks needs to play their top 2 lines a little more often than their
Yes.
3rd and 4th line. And I agree with you there.
Yeah.
So
that's-
Castlegar and Nelson.
I say Rebels in 6, but after their marathon game last night, it kind of makes you go, well, anything can happen in the playoffs, as they won. Yeah, in the 4th period of Nelson won in the 4th period of overtime.
And Castlegar had to score in the last 12 seconds in the 3rd period
yes.
to tie the game,
Yes.
and then push it off to 4 overtimes.
So now it's just one game.
Yep.
But for
Played
me,
in Castlegar, by the way.
right?
Yeah.
I know. So I'm also not feeling as confident about this pick for the Rebels in 6 games, but I still, for me, do feel they could pull it out. Because now, contradicting everything that I just said about depth, the Rebels, their top line is one of the best in the KI with Lindsay and I think Moeller and I'm totally forgetting the guy who just Styler.
Yep.
With those 3 players, that is an electric line. So it reminds me of the Ottawa Senators a couple years, like 10 years ago, when they made their Stanley Cup run on the backs of just their top line.
So here's something I'm going to shock you again.
Go for it.
I believe the Castlegar Rebels will win in 6. So that's 2
Wow.
times already I've agreed with you.
What's going on here?
Well, again,
Did you go to one of the dispensaries before coming here?
No.
Is that why we're agreeing?
No. Now, the issue is that the Nelson is a good, quick hockey club.
Yep.
but I think the physicalness of the Castlegar Rebels will wear down the Leafs in that 6 games.
Yep.
The fact they didn't win that quadruple overtime game, that's going to put a little more impetus in tonight's game when they play again.
Yep.
And I would expect that the Rebels will come out on top tonight, and they'll win at least one game in Nelson, and they'll finish it out. And I believe they have to finish it out in Nelson. So if they're going to win in 6, they have to finish it in Nelson.
Yeah.
But I believe that's 6
I
games
believe they
there.
can do it.
I think 5 or 6 games in Beaver Valley.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking closer to 6 than to 5. And I think Columbia Valley is going to win 1, maybe 2 games against Beaver Valley.
Right. Now, did we want to go into the other conference at all?
Sure, let's go to the other conference, because I have absolutely no opinion on the other conference.
Yeah,
so I'm going to agree with you all the way around.
We haven't really seen them at all.
No.
So Soyuz, power rank number 1, pretty much all season, rotating with Beaver Valley. And they're playing the North Okanagan Knights, who just
barely made it in.
Yeah. So I feel the Coyotes will sweep the series.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but because the Coyotes have this habit of floundering in the playoffs the past couple of years.
Yeah, they're not going to have any trouble with North Okanagan.
No, it will be in the next round when they play Summer. So I'm predicting Summerland Steam will beat the Kelowna Chiefs in 6 games. That series will probably be a lot closer than I think it is.
Okay.
But I still feel the Steam will come out on top there. And then with the Chase Heat and the Revel-Soaked Grizzlies, this is for me, this is a division that's really up for grabs for any team.
Right.
But the series probably could go 7 games. But I'm saying the Heat in 6 over the Grizzlies.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that went to 7.
Okay.
And then the 100 Mile House Wranglers and Kamloops Storm, which we feel this series is close statistically and standings-wise. That series is even closer.
It all depends if the physical game of the 100 Mile House Wranglers do what they did last year and wear down the Kamloops Storm.
They have home ice advantage, which is, I think, where I would give them the nod. So when they are in Kamloops, I think they'll struggle on Kamloops ice.
Big ice,
but in their barn, they'll hammer you. So I think Wranglers in 7.
They played a very physical game last year, all year long.
Yep.
Against the Dynamiters, they basically ran Kimberley out of the rink here in the first game.
Yep.
Kimberley came back and won game 2, but they had no chance in 100 Mile House because by the time they got up to 100 Mile House, we had 3 out of the first 4 players of the Dynamiters walking wounded.
Yes.
100 Mile House last year, because of their physicalness, they went all the way to the Keystone Cup.
Right.
And won that.
Yes, they did.
So, and that was because of their physical play and their.
Yeah.
So whether or not they can do the same thing, they're not going to surprise anybody this year.
No.
So Kamloops will be prepared for that.
They're the league defending champions. So
and I believe my guess would be Kamloops in 7. Kamloops is going to win the last game in 100 Mile House.
It's a coin toss for me.
Yeah. But you got to make a prediction.
So, but that's where I'm going with 100 Mile House dominating in their barn.
Okay, so you got them in 7.
Yes.
Okay, and I got our Kamloops in 7.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to post this on YouTube afterward, and we will be owning each other up.
Well, I've agreed at least half the time.
I know, so we'll keep score on the ones where we don't agree.
we won't worry about the other ones we do agree on, even if we're wrong.
Correct, yeah. But this was the priority. So, yes, that's where I'm at with the predictions, and I got 40% right during the regular season, so be prepared for me to be 60% wrong.
Well, the only time you're going to be wrong is when you didn't agree with me. That only makes you 40% wrong.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyway.
Okay.
So we're about into starting period number 3. The Dynamiters enjoying a 6-2 lead. Don't give up on the Fernie Ghostriders.
Never.
They are not going to give up, and they're going to make this a game.
Absolutely.
Mark my words. It will not be a 4-goal game at the end of this game.
Okay.
Thanks, Josh Lockhart.
Thank you.
Bloggers Blurb. We appreciate you coming over and chatting with us, and we'll keep score.
Yes, we will. Okay, thank you.
Josh Lockhart, the Dynamiter blogger.